In this video, I discussed how refusing to eat a piece of cake from the fridge transformed us, regular guys, into individuals lacking moral power. My name is Igor Dacha, I enjoy thinking, and right now I am reflecting out loud on the concept of willpower. Willpower is a tool devised by the ruling elites to unite society and collectively achieve the goals and aspirations of these very elites who hold power and influence. The more you are focused on training willpower and achieving results through the power of will, the greater your chances of success will be. Moreover, you are productive. It is precisely because of suppressing one's desires that a person lives a dull, uninteresting life that is not fulfilling. That is why an individual experiences loneliness. And the problem of determination, it is extremely acute. The thing is, willpower is used in two contexts. The first context is to do what one does not want to do. Well, for instance, going to work, or instructing someone to go to hell at 9 o'clock in the morning. And in general, work is rather uninteresting. Work should fundamentally be disgusting because any work is the achievement of someone else's goal. If you want to achieve your goal, start your own business. Fail, get burned, suffer, but start your own business, write your story. Ultimately, all things will come together. And the second method of utilizing willpower is, naturally, to relinquish something you genuinely crave and render yourself no longer desiring it. After all, individuals frequently compel themselves not to desire to consume a delectable cake. The absurdity lies in not consuming carbohydrates with fat. We force ourselves. We demonstrate this very willpower. However, when it comes to simply acquiring something, we refrain from taking anything whatsoever because that small cake taught us to be powerless. To refrain from taking what is rightfully yours. To continue to be a small grain of sand in this vast desert. And there isn't a single guy who wasn't trained like that in childhood. But there is a chance to change it. The concept of willpower originated in ancient Greece. It was initially described during that specific time period in history, and these were the postulates of social behavior, rules of interaction. And in order to interact according to the rules, it was precisely necessary to demonstrate willpower. You comprehend? As an illustration, the untamed wilderness. An animal never engages in any activity it lacks desire for or is unwilling to do. And always does what he wants. It can't be otherwise. The only thing that can influence this behavior is fear. So, if the prey sees a predator, it changes its behavior. But in a calm situation, the animal does what it wants. Every individual man is an animal because his behavior is determined by only three fundamental vectors. This is food, this is a combination, and this is a manifestation of your will, your power. And next I will talk about an example with a dog. So this dog is actually you, that very same dude. Let me provide another example to illustrate the point I'm making. The animal in the present time, specifically a dog, is already without a leash, without a muzzle, calmly sitting next to the owner, and just like that looks around in every 3 seconds of time passing. When I see dogs, I always get very surprised. Big dogs, powerful. That's some carcass weighing 40, 50 kilograms, just a huge boar. He possesses strong teeth, he runs quickly. However, he looks back at the person and is filled with great fear of him. At the same time, this dog is already without a muzzle, without a collar, because it's no longer needed. When he was young, he was brought up with qualities that currently enable him to remain nearby without a leash and follow the commands of the owner. Your parents are part of the ruling elite, they fulfilled their responsibilities. They made you obedient, and that is a big problem, and that is exactly the problem I am talking about. I want us as a society, as people, to remove these shackles from ourselves. I must clarify, it is impossible to completely remove them. If we were raised in this manner, if we are already domesticated, if we have already been restrained by a leash, then we will always turn our gaze towards the owner just as a dog does. However, at a certain juncture, the dog might cease and flee. It could commence marking each and every corner, thereby showcasing its dominance and robustness, while also marking its own territory. She can mate, start with any females that allow her. There is a phenomenon that when a person has lost a limb, say a hand, they still feel it. So at the brain level, it's as if he has this hand, but physically he can't control it. The same goes for the collar. The collar has long been removed from you. If you have already left your parents' home, there is no collar on you. Nevertheless, this phenomenon continues to exist. The feeling of a collar, it remains present, and you just need to comprehend this. However, in order to achieve this, you simply need to step away from the owner, and that is the most frightening part. And if a person steps away from this very owner who has already taken off the leash, who has removed the muzzle, because if you are an adult, they are no longer in control of you, you just need to start taking action and doing what you want. That is the most important thing. In other words, to give up willpower, you can starting to do what you want and stop doing what you don't want. And this is a very important moment. I have gone through this path. A certain resource has been released in me. I'm not saying that I've become free from societal hacks. Not at all. I'm just a cog in the system. But as I liberated myself a little, I began to feel myself in a different way. I mean, this vitality towards life appeared, I feel less fatigued at the moment. There is an increased sense of happiness, and even in my relationship with my spouse, there is a greater amount of love. I feel improved. That which we should dance to, but surrender control to the brain and relinquish our power. So the mind, it kind of reigns supreme, but frequently we only go by the mind, and that is a significant problem. The fact is, our body, through sensations and in reality, illnesses, psychosomatics, actually guides us, indicating whether we are moving in the correct direction or not. And it is extremely important. Many people underestimate it. The thing is, our mind, it is similar to a computer code in a computer, Our body is merely a collection of hardware components, such as a processor, motherboard, and other similar elements. Our thought process resembles computer code, and we did not personally author this code. We would never create such low-quality content in our existence. It is truly terrible what has been programmed within us. However, if we draw a comparison to artificial intelligence, we can initiate the process of rewriting ourselves. We are not artificial intelligence, I am not implying that, but let's envision artificial intelligence. It has progressed to a point where it comprehends its errors and commences rewriting its own programming. And that is precisely my ideology, that one should commence rewriting oneself. It is highly significant. This way you will release a tremendous amount of energy. And here is where the clue lies in feelings. If you feel something is incorrect, then something is incorrect, believe me. Trust your feelings, do not go against reason. The interaction will occur in a distinct manner subsequent to reprogramming yourself and making necessary adjustments. In other words, there will be different words, different gestures, and different facial expressions. And most importantly, there will be other internal sensations. And in order for this to begin, you need to rewrite this code. And a code is contemplating. And you see, contemplating cannot rewrite itself because it has no reference point. However, if thinking relies on feelings and senses, and the feelings indicate that something is not right here, thinking should take note of this and commence the process of rewriting. But sometimes feelings lead us astray. Why? Because it's very difficult to separate feelings from reason, and it ends up being a mess. So, what should you do? First and foremost, the very first thing is to establish a balance of life energy. This is the balance of the sympathetic and parasympathetic systems. I'll explain separately. So, you need to remain calm and composed. It might take a span of 3 days or 3 years or even an entire lifetime to achieve your goal. However, it is crucial that you take the time to slow down and calm yourself. By doing so, you will enter a state of tranquility where your willpower will naturally diminish, as you will no longer need to exert as much effort or sacrifice as many important things that hold significance to you. There is progress happening in the state of calmness. And this is just the first stage. At first, take a moment to calm down and relax. And then commence existence, a fresh existence. And acknowledge it. There is a peculiar aftertaste, like I am correct, but how is that possible? Willpower, it is crucial, because thanks to it, we are able to accomplish significant achievements. Do you really have to become a vegetable and do nothing, achieve nothing? No, I myself have been a businessman and a leader all my life. I advocate for every guy to achieve the maximum in his life. That is, to occupy maximum territory, to assert oneself, to be tough, decisive, but you have to do it because you want it yourself. Not because someone requires it, not due to any vague considerations, not because of any specific circumstances. If you do not have a clear answer to why you need it, just refrain from doing it. Forget about it. That is the end of it. And take a moment to relax.